There's a strange thing that I've noticed about the language we use for our own lives. We name our goals as maybes. We name our relationships as complicated. We even name our businesses as just a side hustle. And then we wonder why none of them grow. You see, what you are calling something is shaping what it becomes. And I want you to hear me carefully today, because what this teaching is doing, it's changing quietly 3 areas of your life. Welcome back to the Life Builders. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Patience. I'm a clarity coach. I work with visionaries at crossroads, regardless of age, who are confused or overwhelmed about their dreams. And today, we review all the names that we're giving our own lives. Number 1, the names we give our goals. Let me start where we ended the SMART arc this week, which is step 5, making your goals relevant. Relevant means that the goals matter to you, not to your sister, not to the influencer you follow, not to the version of yourself you wish you were, to the you that exists right now. And here is where the language matters. Listen to how you describe your goals to other people. I'm trying to lose weight, I guess. I want to start writing, maybe. Or I'm thinking about going back to school, but we'll see how it goes. Did you hear that? We're using the words trying, maybe, we'll see. These are not goals. They're simply placeholders for the goals that you have not yet committed to. And here's the truth, unfortunately. A goal you describe as maybe will be treated like a maybe. By you, by your calendar, by your money, by your discipline. If the goal isn't relevant enough to name with conviction, it's not relevant enough to finish. That's why Joel 2:8 says, they do not crowd each other. Each one marches in its path. Now, when they bust through defenses or weapons, they do not break their ranks. That means we have the responsibility to focus on goals that align with our abilities, our seasons per time. Because your success starts with what you call your goals. Drop the maybes, drop the trying, name them clearly and out loud, because a goal that doesn't matter to you will not hold you when the season gets hard. And number 2, the names we give our relationships. And the same truth applies here. Now listen to how some of us name our relationships. We hear things like, my marriage is just going through a rough patch. My child is just being difficult. Or my friend is being weird right now. My team is just not motivated. Honestly, the word just to me is a thief. It minimizes what is actually happening. And when you minimize something, you don't address it. You walk past it. You add it to the next quarter's worry list. Now, I want to ask you, what if the marriage is not just a rough patch, but a season that needs intentional repair? What if the child is not just being difficult, but communicating something they even cannot put into words yet? And what if the friend is not just being weird, but going through something that they've not yet told you about? And this one is big. What if the team is just not unmotivated, but they're tired of a leadership style that has stopped serving them? The name you give the relationship is shaping how you show up to it. So this week's reflection on reading the person and not the room is the same teaching. When you give the person an honest name, like someone who needs love, someone who needs space, someone who needs help, you respond honestly. But when you give them a lazy name, difficult, weird, unmotivated, you respond lazily. That's why James 1:19 says, be swift to hear and slow to speak. Swift hearing starts with naming what's actually happening, not what's easy to label. And then number 3, the names we give our work. And this is the one that really, really touches me, because the names we give our work matters a lot. Listen to how some startup businesses talk about their business. You hear things like, oh, it's just a side hustle, or it's nothing serious yet. I'm just figuring it out. It's not really a business, more like a hobby right now. What do you mean? And then they wonder why nobody is taking them seriously. Nobody can take your business more seriously than you do. And the first place your seriousness shows up is what you call it. Call it a side hustle and you will treat it like one. You will squeeze it into Sunday evenings. You will apologize for it at events. You will quit quickly the first time something hard happens. Because side hustles are by definition things you abandon when life gets in the way. But if you call it phase 1 of a real business, everything shifts. Because now phase 1 has a strategy. Phase 1 has a budget. Phase 1 has milestones. Phase 1 has a phase 2 that is building towards. Phase 1 is no longer embarrassing. It is the most important phase of any company that ever became something. For example, Apple was a phase one in a garage. Amazon was a phase one in a Bezos house. And the Life Builders was a phase one in my notebook before it became a website. I didn't call it a side hustle. I called it the beginning of my business. So here's what I want you to do. The next time someone asks you what you do not say, I have a little side thing. Say, I'm in phase one of building a business that does X for Y people. Simple. And watch what happens to you then when you say it. Watch what happens to the person you're saying it to. And watch what happens to your week after you've said it. The name you give your work is shaping the work itself. So we've looked at 3 areas today: your goals, your relationships, your work. Different topics, but same teaching. The names you are using are shaping the futures that you are getting out of them. Call your goal maybe, and it will stay a maybe. Call your spouse difficult, and they will stay difficult to you. Call your business just a side hustle, and it will stay one. But change the language and you change the trajectory. Call the goal what it really is. It's a commitment or a direction or a line that you're drawing in your own life. Call the person who or what they really are. Someone who needs to be heard. Someone who needs to be seen. Someone who needs you to read them and not the room. Call the work what it really is. It's a phase one of a real thing, foundational, worthy of seriousness. And that's why Genesis 2 and verse 19 tells us that the first job that Adam had was to give names to things. Because there's something about naming that creates reality. Not because the name changes the thing, no. But because the name changes how you respond to it. And how you respond to a thing is what determines what it becomes in your life. So here's what I want you to do this weekend. Pick the one area that connected most with you. If it's your goals, pick one and rename it. Drop the maybe, drop the trying. Name it clearly and own it out loud to someone. If it's the relationship, pick one and rename what's actually happening. Stop labeling the person and start naming the season. And if it's your work, drop the side hustle language. Call it phase one. Say it out loud to the next person who asks you what you do and watch what shifts. And I want you to know this. The dream is closer than you think, but the way you name it is the way you will treat it. And the way you treat it is what determines whether it becomes anything at all. Now, if something stirred in you while you were watching, send me a message. The link is in the channel description. I read everyone. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button right now. And I'll see you next Saturday with some other purpose building blocks. God bless you, and I'll see you at the top.